Warm greetings to the studio viewers. My name is Tula Sizwe Zincume. Today, of course, I'm being joined by the Deputy Chairperson of Sasco, Sandile Ngcobo, as well as Chairperson Tabuntu from the EFFSC. Welcome to the studio. Now, without any further delays, Deputy Chair of the Sasco, we've seen students rallying behind Sasco. What was your approach in terms of the campaign, and are you where you wanted to be in terms of the campaign? Is it promising?
More scientific about it. It was dealing with issues that touches students on their student life on a day-to-day basis, which generally affects what we came here for, first and foremost, and highlighting some of the issues that where there are gaps and that needs to be addressed properly. So in a nutshell, it was to deal with daily bread and butter issues of students. We are referring to your INSAF issue, your BTEC, beyond e-diploma, the unconducive residencies that we find ourselves in, the militarization and depoliticization of student politics, a number of issues that basically touches students.
So now let's go to Chairperson of the EFFSC. We've seen students rallying behind the EFFSC as well. How was your approach? Is it the campaign promising for the second term?
Thank you very much. Yes, Rashid, the approach that we had, EFF Student Command is the only organization that represents the interest of the students, especially the poorest and the oppressed student here in this institution. So the students, they love EFF Student Command because every time when there is a problem, they will see the EFF and the EFF will come with solution. So EFF Student Command is fighting against the system, of which the system seeks to oppress the black students that are marginalized. And then EFF Student Command is a solution, and then students, they love EFF because their hope is in the EFF Student Command.
So now, Deputy Chair, last year we've heard about the internal issues of Sasco. How have you worked on those issues regarding to the elections that you are heading on?
External issues you're referring to whereby we contested each other?
Yeah.
Okay, now we've sorted out that problem. That is why we so united, not just Sasco per se, but the entire Progressive Youth Alliance, which is inclusive of the ANC Youth League and the Young Communist League of South Africa. It's a mistake that we couldn't afford to happen. As you know, when you've made the calculations on the outcomes of last year's elections, you'll understand that the Student Command didn't really win if the PYA was not divided or was not contesting each other. So that's the situation. That's what happened. So we've sorted out those issues. We are solid, we are united, and we are claiming our glory.
So, Tabuntu, we've heard in a short interview that I had yesterday with a member of Sasco saying that they've been victims of the Student Command. Can you enlighten on that? Of how did all that transpire by them saying that they are the victims of the EFFS?
No, that's at the PT politics leadership. We are approaching the SRC elections. So they will say anything that to damage the image of the EFF Student Command. We know this thing. Even last year when they were contesting each other, they were fighting each other. So even this year they are saying no, we're even beaten them. We know it's their strategy. They even used amongst themselves while they were contesting each other. So that one at the PT politics, we'll never entertain that.
But we've heard them saying Sasco's razzmatazz were being intimidated by the EFFSC. As a result, they were not allowed in some other residents to do a fair campaign.
No. That, as I said, that is a petty politics. They don't know what they can say. You see, so they will try to say everything that's to damage the image of the EFF Student Command. We are not violent, we are the members of the EFF Student Command, and we are disciplined, and we don't like violence. So it's just a petty politics leadership.
Now can we hear you take Deputy Chair on that one?
Umuntu yaziyo Student Command and their mother body EFF will know how violent they are. Even in Parliament, everywhere they are, there's chaos. But you probably can trace it back to their founder, Commander Wap. So it's a violent organization that beats up women. They attack the young women here, after the rest visit, and former chairperson Sasco in our branch. So it's not about making noise about these issues and saying it's petty politicking. EFF Student Command is a violent organization. It probably has to do with the character as well of the organization. It is less democratic in a way. So it's unlike in a democratic organization such as your Sasco and our alliance partners. So they are violent in nature and character. There are cases that are open.
It seems like Dabuntu has an opposition view of what you are saying.
Definitely he has to defend his organization and defend themselves, but we all know, I don't have to waste time, viewers' time, we all know that EFF is violent. We've seen it everywhere. Everybody who knows EFF knows that they are a violent organization, and that's what they've been trying to do with our comrades, making sure that we don't campaign free and fairly, forgetting that it's a right to, even worse, we're in the institutions of higher learning, at the universities. You'll expect decent engagement and differing views, but decent in a nutshell, which is not the case here.
Okay. After the break, we'll be coming back so as to we can hear the Sasco stating that they did not have access to the SRC grant, but we'll touch that after the break.
My name is Sandile Ngobo, the Deputy Chairperson of Sasco at DUT in Durban, Sakile Mzizi branch. Tomorrow I will be representing South African Congress, the oldest student movement in Africa and South Africa in particular, and I will be debating our manifestos and our approach towards the SRC elections in the Durban University of Technology. Please make sure you tune in, and then you get to find out as to what Sasco, as we will be coming back into power this year, what we will be bringing with us. Thank you.
Well, of course, it seems like Dabuntu has a different view of what the chairperson of Sasco is saying in terms of EFF being violent.
Yes, leadership. You know, he even referred to our mother body, which is EFF. And then I stand to disagree with him when he say, no, we are violent. You know, we are inspired by all the freedom fighters who fought to liberate for black people that were oppressed during that time. Today, we are celebrating the youth of 1976. The youth of 1976, they were called the violent people. Even their parents, they rejected them, saying, no, the white people, they have been brought by God, to liberate us. The youth of 1976, they stood up and then they fought against the oppression. Even the EFF today, we are doing the same thing, and then they will celebrate us later because we are persuading our generational mission, which is free decolonized education in our lifetime as EFF Student Command, and economic freedom in our lifetime as EFF. So they cannot say no, we are violent because we are radical. There is a difference between using a radical approach and being violent. Just imagine, at the beginning of the year, they said no students that were using this system called SASA and quantiles. They didn't allow them to register, and then we went to strike, and then they were able to register after they said no, we engage in a violent manner. But it was not violent, it was the approach of being radical and enforcing the management to understand our issues. We are not violent, we are radical.
Now on that one, because it seems like it's getting heated in this room. So now let's touch the issue of the SRC grant. In a quote that I took yesterday from Masia saying that they were being chased away when they went to the open house for the SRC grant. What's your take on that?
Shame. He is lying. Shame. SRC grant, all the students, they come and write their names and all the stuff. And then we take the list and then we give masses. Student governance.
Just to interrupt you. Just to interrupt you on that one.
Yes.
It is because they were wearing Sasco t-shirts. That is why they were being chased away.
No, us as the EFF Student Command, we are in a revolution because we understand the struggle of black people. So we understand that Sasco, they cannot fight even for themselves. So we are fighting even for them in this institution because we understand the struggle of black people. And our duty as EFF Student Command is to liberate their mind because their mind is still oppressed. They are just always referring to Nelson Mandela. No, we salute Nelson Mandela, but we know that today our liberators, they became our oppressors. So they are inspired by those oppressors. So we will never do that, because we're in a revolution, because we understand the struggle of black people, of which they are black, and we are fighting for them, and we even take a bullet for them, because we understand that no, when we are in a strike and then we are fighting for them, they will say no, this one are violence, because they are cheese boy shaming this campus. So they joined politics because of hyper, not understanding the struggle of black people. And then it is our duty as EFF Student Command to liberate their mind, and then they will join us later, and then we will continue with our struggle of free decolonized education in our lifetime. So we will never do that, especially to the black people, because we understand the pain of black people. We understand being marginalized. We will never do that.
Now, Tabuntu, let's allow the deputy chair to enlighten us on that matter as well.
Maybe let us start here. The struggle of working class students and young people in general. It's not like who shouts the most, who's a loud hailer, because loud hailing, it's not about addressing issues. It does not speak to the content and capacity that you have as far as addressing issues is concerned. On this issue of violence, as we are passing it, there's nothing revolutionary about attacking female staff. It does not assist the revolution. Your fellow working class member or person, attack them. There's nothing revolutionary about that. So it's a shame that we'll even go and revoke and compare, the EFF will compare themselves to the young people of 1976, and there's nothing common between the two. We will not go back to claim that. So there's nothing revolutionary about me attacking Ubuntu. Because there's one thing that you need to understand. EFF is not our enemy. But supposedly they consider us as their enemy. Our enemy is a common enemy, which is a neoliberal agenda. Now, we need to understand that first and foremost. Because we don't want political intolerance and everything that has happened. Our province has suffered, and the country as well has suffered a lot through that. And then we achieve this through democratic processes, the situation that we have now. So attacking each other, there's nothing revolutionary about that. So that should be clear. Now, coming to this issue of SRC grants, we had a number of students that had to deregister this semester, to be precise. We have many flows. First year student with Abishawa with G17 for the first time, unprecedented. It has happened in DUT under the leadership of EFF Student Command. I won't even dwell much, because probably we're still going to come to those issues of unconducive residences, but we've encountered a number of challenges as students, and we found ourselves stranded. While people will come here and be impressionist. Impressionist is somebody who creates a picture or make an impression that something is being done or was done. That's what petty is. Being petty about the issues, because we are stranded as students. People who are supposed to be addressing our issues are playing petty politics and being impressionist. So it's addressing issues of working class students in particular. We don't need people to grandstand and come and say we've done 1, 2, 3. That cannot be traced. That cannot be found anywhere. So this year we've been stranded as students on a number of issues. That's a reality that is out there. While our fellows, they were being excited and making noise.
Yo, it's getting hotter and hotter in this room. Now let's go to an ad break. We'll then come back. We'll be also touching the issues of BTech funding.
No, thank you very much, comrades. Lona Kulumayo Ngutabuntu, chairperson of the EFF Student Command here in DUT. Tomorrow at 12 o'clock at Red Studio, we will be having a debate with Sasco boys, the enemy of the students. So we will be chronologically unpacking the real bread and butters, what the EFF and what is the stand of the EFF Student Command in student issues, and also articulating what we will do for the student moving forward, and what we have achieved, and what we are willing to do for the student, and what sacrifices we are gonna do for the student. So tomorrow, catch us at 12 o'clock at Red Studio, and then you will see why you should vote for the EFF Student Command.
Welcome back, of course, Chief. Let us dwell on this matter of the BTech funding. Can you enlighten us, Uguti? how do they get funding and what happened kulonyaka lo, because we've seen students raising issues regarding the BTech funding?
That's one area that we still need to forge ahead with the struggle. Remember, this free education is not complete. The Young Communist League, which gives us our ideological context, they classified it very well from the beginning. They said we need free education that is decolonized from and unchained from the neoliberal agenda of the capitalist system. So you come to university, they give you a diploma because of their curriculum structuring. This diploma is not enough out there. Even degrees nowadays, they are not enough. Now, we have to do BTech. We are a quantile 1 up to 3. You've been using NSFAS. The university gives you this program, and then they leave you just there. When you're supposed to do BTech, now you find yourself without funding. Your NRF and other schemes that are out there, they are not enough. Therefore, we are saying, as Sasco, the university, because it's their structuring system that gives us diploma that are inadequate for the corporate world, it should go beyond that. Since we are NSFAS student, the moment I'm supposed to do BTech, it does not change. My socio-economic status has not changed that now since I've completed my diploma and all of a sudden I can afford to pay my fees. We are saying the university has a responsibility to fund BTech students because they gave us the program of diplomas, which also is not in line with what the system out there in the corporate world requires. So, as we're saying the university, because NSFAS says it will fund you, which also is a loophole, it will fund you until you acquire your first undergrad qualification, which in this case it's NQ5 AMA diplomas. Now, in some people they stand to benefit because their undergraduate qualification, they run up to NQ7, so your degrees NQF7. So we are saying NSFAS should be engaged like we engaged. We want all other struggles. And it should be engaged further to say we need to close the gap between the diplomas and the BTechs. We are also appreciating that most departments are doing away with this thing of diplomas, and they are going to the degree, approaching a system of degrees. So we welcome that because it also frustrates us. It has in-service issues. Diplomas are hectic, are chaotic. So all in all, the university, until that happens, they should fund BTech students so that they stop chasing away students. They are stranded.
So
BTech students are stranded.
You are saying Sasco is saying that the institution must fund those who are doing BTech. That's
what we are saying. The Durban University of Technology must fund BTech students.
Now,
end of the story.
Dabuntu, what's your take on that?
No, thank you very much. Before I get into this point, you just mentioned one thing that touched me about taking a staff lady. You know, it's their stand. They always collaborate with the management. Every time when students they are in a protest, they will always take the side of the management, not to say what really transpired. We were students, we were fighting for all students. We will never attack a lady, especially in this institution, but it's their stand just to play a petty politics, saying no, we are attacking staff which who was a student. No, we'll never do that. But it's their stand, always collaborating with the management. So moving forward, in the issue of a BTech student, the issue of a BTech student is a national issue. We have tried by all means every time when we submit a memorandum to Vice Chancellor. We are not just saying it like them, like a lip service, saying no, they must do this and this and this. We are on the ground, we write it on the memorandum, and then we go to represent it to the Vice Chancellor, and we even engage with the management saying no. You know, our argument is that NSFAS fund you for 5 years, and then diploma is for 3 years, right? And then these 2 years, you are still qualified to use NSFAS. And then our argument is that, no, as the EFF student command, no, just continue to find those students because they are still marginalized. They don't have funding as they were using NSFAS in a diploma level. So they must continue to find them, but the management refused. And then this is a national issue, so that all the universities of South Africa, if they can collaborate and fight against this issue, we can win, because we cannot fight a national issue as a campus, only one campus. We must collaborate, all of us, and then even the Minister of Education supposed to be intervened, but they don't even care shame about the struggle of black people as long as they benefit. We know there is the ANC tendency, because they are child, they are rich, and then they are benefiting in every stuff. So they don't care about the marginalized student. We know
on that one, Chief, on that one, how were the engagements with the management?
Yeah, when we engaged with the management, actually they refused. They saying no, this is a national issue, and then we cannot fund the PTEC. It's an NSFAS issue. We've been trying to persuade them several times, but we are able even to assist the EFF student command that let SRC this year PTEC students who didn't have money. Some we assisted them to register. Even now, some of them, they are starting with the assistance of the EFF student command, because we're able to negotiate, saying no, if those ones they are doing PTEC and then they don't have money, they are doing their last year, just give them a chance so that they can register and then persuade their qualification.
Yeah, thank you very much. We are going to go in an ad break. When we come back, we'll be touching the matter of who adopted the system of cash other than SBUCs. We'll be touching that matter after the break. Stay with us.
My name is Sandile Ngobo, the Deputy Chairperson of Sasco at DUT in Durban, Sasco branch. Tomorrow I will be representing South African Congress, the oldest student movement in Africa, in South Africa in particular, and I will be debating our manifestos and our approach towards the SRC elections in the Durban University of Technology. Please make sure you tune in, and then you get to find out as to what Sasco, as we will be coming back into power this year, what we will be bringing with us. Thank you.
Of SBUCs. We have heard the confusion of that Sasco saying that the issue of SBUCs was drafted last year, but in such a way, in an extent whereby it started to be implemented during the EFFSC leadership. But we are going to hear from them on that matter of what's transpired regarding that one. Anyone wants to go first? I'm going to leave this one open.
Okay. Most of the things that you see out there is a result of the Progressive Youth Alliance struggles of Sasco in particular. And then that's why we're enjoying the benefits. We know that our brothers and sisters in Student Command, they're just still newborn babies. And then Amilcar Cabral speak about people who claim easy victories and telling lies and so forth and so forth, of which it does not assist in this case. It goes back to the issue of being an impressionist. Your free education, your NSFAS, all are the struggles and achievement of PYA, Sasco, and while some of them were still together at the time. Now coming to SBUCs, it was a system that NSFAS as a body that administers our free education. They are still not certain, even now. It's not a final product as to what to do exactly. There's a South African University SRC, your SAUS. Those are the people which is led by Sasco comrades, by the way. Those are the people that go there to that level where our fellows in the EFF, they cannot reach. Because it's where some of the decisions are taken. And then we agreed that this is what we agreed on, which is not happening. Our allowances should come straight from NSFAS to our accounts, of which it's not happening. In many institutions, I'm yet to be aware of any institution that their students are getting their allowance direct from NSFAS. We said we don't want our money to be administered by the universities because, for instance, now I'm registered for 10 months. After 5 months, I go for in-service training, and Durban University of Technology decide not to give me my allowance, of which is not the case. I'm still a student. It's not supposed to be happening like that. So precisely for that reason, that's why we said our monies should come straight from NSFAS into our accounts, of which is not happening.
Not from the institution.
Not from the institutions. So that is not happening. That gives you, it tells you that who have won these issues, because we've won these issues precisely because we've been on the ground for a longer period, and this is what we've achieved.
Tabundu.
No, thank you very much. Yes, it's correct. Amika Cabral says, claim no easy victories, expose lies whenever they are told, and mark no difficulties. So, you know us as the EFF Student Command, you are very happy that we are the one who championed the issue of SPACs, that no, student they must receive cash, because our argument was saying no, why we are receiving SPACs, and then in this SPACs thing we are obligated to buy to ShopRite and cafeterias, and while we want to empower as the EFF and EFF Student Command our black people, and then we can even take that money to buy amazamba and kwabo market and the cabbage to support our brothers and sisters and our parents that are oppressed, that they don't have money to support in their businesses. And then we even engage with the management, and then we even said no, they saying that money must come directly to NSFAS and then to our accounts. And then us, we said no, the money must come to institution. You know why? You must see the logic, because we must analyze using through superior logic. So we said no, we want DUT to be accountable. The issue that we had in the previous years, whenever students they need their allowances, say no, the issue is in Cape Town. And then now, whenever there is an issue here, we just close this institution or go to finance or go to financial aid and say, hey, Indira, hey, Rakesh, fuck my students, so that they can receive their allowances. Yeah. So we made the institution to be accountable, so that whenever we want money, we cannot refer to Cape Town. We want money here. DUT must be accountable. They must communicate with NFAS and Cape Town things. Tina, we enter nowhere. We want our money. Taco blue by fire, by force. That's why students, they are happy under the leadership of the EFF, because by a fake user left and right and center. If they are fake user, they come to us and we go to the management and represent them, and then they get their money. That is the EFF for the students. We are representing students with no fear and favor to anyone. We have championed the issue of SPACs, and then we are not claiming it. It belongs to us, because we engaged with them last year. You will remember. And then they said, no, students, once we give them this money, they will use it to buy alcohol. And we say, no, you're undermining us because we are black. That is your argument. And then we said, no, we want that money. And we closed the institution. You remember when we woke up at 3 o'clock at the morning, and then we closed the institution. You remember, historically, it was the first time. Sasco never did that because they don't have a strategy to fight against the management. We understand. So we closed the institution, and then what they did, they come, no, you can come now. And then we came to them, and then they just removed the
just not to be confused on this matter, Chief, you said you wanted the allowances to come straight from NSFAS, but the EFFSC is now saying that they want it to come from the institution, so they can hold the institution into account. So under what basis you were saying that the money must come from straight to NSFAS?
Okay, you see, I was really expecting some logic through superior analysis, as Comrade Ubuntu was saying. The issue here is that it's not SPACs vis-a-vis cash. It's not an issue of DUT alone. Maybe let me clarify that, because now the impression that is created is that they woke up at 3 a.m., closed the university, and jiggy, and then we got cash. It's not true. As he was quoting Almika, so I'm just quoting Almika back to him. So he's claiming his victories. It's a national issue.
Yeah.
Most institutions are no longer on SPACs. They are receiving their cash, and these issues are addressed at that level, represented by SAUSI SRC. at that level. So it's not the issue we know Ubuntu Valley Gate 2, Gate 3, no Gate 1 here. It applies everywhere. That's one thing that I just needed to clarify. Coming to this one, there's the institutions of higher learning. The system is corrupt. It's a very corrupt system. Unfortunately, we become victims by extension. As a typical example that I was making, the money that is supposed to be given to in-service students, where is it? Who benefits? Who it goes to what? To where? Because they are not being given their allowances. They are chased out of their residences, even if they are doing their in-services within the proximity of the institution. Now, what happens to their rest money? Why is it not converted into private accommodation so that wherever they're gonna go and do the in-service training, they go with this NSFAS package to say, I'm doing my in-service in Mnambiti, I'm covered. I don't have to be stranded as a student because I'm still a student, even if I'm doing the in-service. So it was to minimize such things where we have to deal with issues now to say you have NSFAS money that cannot be located as to where it went to because it has not gone to a student that it was supposed to go to begin with. So the logic behind that, it was simple as that we need to bridge this gap that is between us as student and NSFAS as our funder.
Yeah, for now, let's go to an ad break. We will come back. After that, we'll be touching the unconducive residents. We've seen many residences in the Durban University of Technology that they are unconducive, but we'll touch that matter after the break.
No, thank you very much, comrades. Lona Kulumayo Ngutabuntu, chairperson of the EFF Student Command here in DUT. Tomorrow at 12 o'clock at Red Studio, we will be having a debate with Sasco boys, the enemy of the students. So we will be chronologically unpacking the real bread and butters, what the EFF and what is the stand of the EFF Student Command in student issues, and also articulating what we will do for the student moving forward, and what we have achieved, and what we are willing to do for the student, and what sacrifices we are gonna do for the student. So tomorrow, catch us at 12 o'clock at Red Studio, and then you will see why you should vote for the EFF Student Command.
Welcome back to Red Studio. I'm Tula Sizwe. I'm still joined by the EFF Student Command as well as Sasco. In the EFF Student Command, I'm joined by the chairperson Utabuntu. In the Sasco, I'm joined by Usandile Ngobo, who is the deputy chair of Sasco. Now I have Izembe with me, and I have Uxolo Notando. We're still going to engage on those matters as well. But for now, let's stick to the unconducive residents. Tabuntu, when last did you visit the resident where students are living?
No, thank you very much, leadership. Before we start here, I want to comment in and say you see the logic.
Can I bring back Izembe?
Yes, that superior logic I was talking about. Us as the EFF were saying no, the allowances must be accountable by the institution so that you can put pressure. So Sasco said no, it must Sasco said no, NSFAS must be accountable so that when we want allowances we'll go to Cape Town. So you can see the logic that I was talking about. Moving forward, every week I used to visit residencies. Because whenever there are problems in the residency, students they used to call us because they know that it's the EFF Student Command that provides the solutions whenever there are problems, right? So we are already, there is a Sofunda Ngenkani campaign, so which is our revolutionary proclamation and the commitments of fighting against anti-black education system. So which prioritize what profit in the expense of students. That's what is happening here in our institution. Last year, before we took power, the RH residences like Royal of Light and all residences like ORAP that were approved by Sasco, which was approved by 440. And then during Sofunda Ngenkani, we said no, we must remove those residences in our system so that we can get residences that are in a good conditions. And then we even protested, and then that's when Mlungi Smatonsela got shot fighting for all those issues. So we are not happy about all the residences, and then we went to holidays. It was on December, and then the management approved some residencies without the SRC. And then when we are fighting against that, no, they are saying no, we are still violent. while we are not happy about residencies, students from NRP and other residencies, they can tell you how we're fighting for them, especially those who are staying at Pinetown, because there are residencies that were in Pinetown, and then we were able to remove those students and then allocated to other residencies. So in a question of residencies that are not in a good conditions, we are not happy, and we are fighting by all means, and we will always fight for the students so that they can get a residencies that are in a good conditions. We want Wi-Fi, we want beds that are in a good conditions, we want 2 sleepers in the residencies of the duty. That is the stand of the EFF Student Command. But the management is just styling us because they don't want to champion the issues of the student. Instead of doing that, we are being arrested, we are being suspended for fighting for the students so that they can stay in a residences that are in a good condition.
Now, coming to you, Deputy Chair, what's your say on these unconducive residences?
I have stayed at Stellinghouse from the beginning of the year. For the better part, in fact, for the rest of last semester, on a 7-story building, we had no elevator. The conditions that we are subjected to as students of DUT. 7-story building, no elevator. No Wi-Fi. You have to share stoves that are regularly broken. Washing machines that are not working. Cockroaches everywhere. And some of the rooms that are not supposed to be rooms, because you only find that they took a passage and they partition it and make it a room that does not even have a window or anything. That's what we and many students are being subjected to. Unfortunately, this is the part where the EFF Student Command has been paying lip service to it. Let us be clear on one thing. EFF Student Command, as the government of student in DUT, they've attempted once a strike, early at the beginning of the year. There has been no mass actions to address our issues. That's why I continuously say, you don't have to sit here and lie, but if it's in your nature, then there's nothing that we can do about it. There has been nothing tangible to address these issues thus far, and that's a fact. This semester again, when students were being deregistered and having problems with accommodation, still there's no action that came through. So it's a reality that is confronting us. You have your Lodge here. I thought we had problems at Stellinghouse, but when I got to Lodge, I was shocked. You had a rest down the road from Lodge. It's being renovated with students inside the residence, and nothing was done by our SRC. So you cannot renovate in that manner. There are minor renovations. There is not just a renovation, it's a renovation and extension. So when you are doing minor renovations like painting and so forth, maybe in common rooms or areas, maybe you can have students. But when they are doing an extension of the building and renovations, you cannot keep us in that in such conditions. But the EFF let us stay there. And there's nothing. And many other residences. And I think you and him, that's where we are agreeing that the residences has been very unconducive. What we've been subjected to, it's inhumane, to say the least. The only thing that we are not agreeing on is that they've done something about it.
So, just to interrupt you, Chief, how is Sasco going to champion this matter of unconducive residences if Sasco wins the elections? How are you going to deal with that matter?
No, we will win elections. Obviously, some issues need people who have capacity to address them, rather than loud hailing about it, as I alluded earlier on. So the key to address the rest issues is to make sure that we don't get buildings into the systems that are not supposed to be in the system to begin with. So that's first and foremost. Buildings that are not supposed to be approved, they should not be approved. That's one area that we are going to address. And then buildings that need to be taken out of the system. Remember, that's why I said we were skeptical about finding our allowances and so forth. I said the institutions of higher learning, by their very own nature, they are corrupt. This is one area where corruption has taken place. Housing. the whole process of from obtaining buildings in towards accommodating students. It's entrenched in corruption. You'll ask yourself that how would some of these buildings were even approved to begin with? So we'll make sure that we take out buildings that are not supposed to be on the system. It is a responsibility of the university when they maximize the number of enrollment in terms of students that they enroll at the university. It's their responsibility to find them accommodation that is conducive, more so because NSFAS is providing for students. So we'll take those buildings out in the system and going forward and make sure that we don't allow anything that is substandard.
Yes, oh no, thank you very much. You know, someone when he speaks just expose his organization and himself. You know, all the residencies that he mentions are the residencies that were approved by Sasco. He mentioned the Priya launch was approved by Sasco by 440. Yes, I do agree that no, that residency is the conditions of that residence that approved by 440 because he is benefiting. And then that res, it's a Royal of Light that you are saying no, it's been renovated. They are renovating it right now. You know, that res was approved by Sasco from was approved by Sasco. And then you are contradicting yourself saying no, we don't want residences that are like this, but you are the one who approved these residences. I was very astonished when you say no, us as the AFF were doing a lip service. While you are the one, but I understand him. Because he's not even leading a strike. He always behind all the time. While we had issues, I'm the one, because I'm the political head, and then I'm leading the organization that is leading the SRC, and I'm the one who is in the forefront for liberating the black people. You even saw I was even willing to take a bullet for black side, but they are saying no, we are doing nothing, and then there was no protest. Actually, the protest was very successful. You know why I'm saying this? There were students that received unsuccessful messages while they were using NSFAS. Duty students can attest it, they know, because it's an honest thing. We are honest. And then they received unsuccessfully, and then there is not even an appeal during the semester. And then that's why we went to strike. And then after we were arrested and suspended, and then students, they receive successful messages.
While you're still on that one, Chief, there are students whom hasn't received any allowances. What's the update on that one?
Yeah, no, thank you very much. That is an important issue. So those students who haven't received their allowances, we even instructed them that they must come to us and then write their names. We will even take them and go straight, as I said at the beginning. But no, we will take them and go straight to finance, because you know there are a lot of students here in.
Has that been done?
Yes, some of them they came, and then we took them, and then they wrote their name, and then they received their allowances. Even now, if there is a student who haven't received their allowances, they must come to us. We will assist them. We will go straight to finance and say no, this is a student number. They will punch it, and then they will say no, the problem is this, or the student will receive allowances at this date. So I was very astonished when he said no, we are doing nothing. Actually, he is not honest himself, but I understand, because shame is just I understand he never champion anything. He never go to the strike. While we're striking, maybe he's busy studying in the institution. So you cannot say that no, EFF is not lip servicing. We're in the ground. We are championing things here.
As he said,
how can we be suspended? How can we be arrested while we are doing nothing?
Okay,
this semester saying no, we did nothing, but we went to strike and then we were arrested. Today, the president of the EFF Student Command, Godlimp, is suspended. Why Godlimp is suspended? Godlimp is suspended because he was fighting for the students and other SRC members. Last year's SRC was led by Sasco, which is 440, and then 440 never been suspended because they are the sellouts. And then while we were striking last year, 440 instructed the police to shoot the students. I was there leading the strike. They instructed the police to shoot the students. And then today, this semester, EFF is striking, and then the management collaborated with Sasco. They are instructing the police to arrest us. Why? Because we don't take nonsense. We don't take the mandate from the management, especially the mandate that will oppress the black side in this institution. That's why we are being suspended. That's why they hate us like this. That's why management collaborated with Sasco. I will even expose more if you can give me time.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
just give me time.
I give you time. I give you time to dwell on that matter, Chief.
Yes, to go to that extent. Management, they hate us as the EFF Student Command. I repeat that.
Under what basis?
Because we don't take the mandate from them. We don't take the mandate that oppressed the black students. So that's why we are even fighting and we are being suspended. SRC Kodlimpi is even suspended. And their former TST, which is Sponga now is RSA here in Steve Biko Red. Why? Because they made a personal relationship with the management. You cannot say that you are a leader and then you have a personal relationship with the management, because you are representing the interest of the students. That means he had that personal relationship in expenses of students issues. So that is the real truth. So now as the EFF Student Command, we are in governance. All of them, they hate us because we are representing the students. We don't take the mandate from them. That's why every day you will see more than 13 members of the EFF Student Command that are suspended. Why? What have we done to deserve hate like this? We are also human beings, but we are determined to liberate the black people that are oppressed. What we want that all the students, they must get an education and stay to the residences that are in a good condition. And to go in that extent, when Kodlimpo was suspended, it was last semester. And then during those days, there were students that were not registered. And management collaborated with Sasco. They even make an arrangement that, no, I will give Sasco money. And then they gave Sasco 10,000. And then they made a tea by Steve Biko residents. You can call your student have issues, and then you are a politician, and then you are busy making a tea. What a shame. But you are a politician. Okay. While the opposition is busy striking, is busy championing the student issues, and you call yourself a politician, but you make a tea.
Right, Chief.
We will never take those serious.
Deputy Chair, would you like to clarify that matter after the break?
Which one exactly?
The one that is saying that the Sasco is conspiring with the management. I would like us to enlighten on that and have you say on that one.
Now, I'll respond to the issues that he raised, all of them, but not on the management issue, because I cannot be speaking on behalf of the management. This is the confusion that I was referring to. You see, we are not enemies to one another. We are same class, and we can never be enemies unless one does not understand their revolutionary mandate that is entrusted upon them. So, as we speak, Comrade Pumelele, our chairperson, she's a female, she's on suspension. She was arrested and spent the night in jail at the beginning of this semester. I don't know why would you appear in court and be suspended by the university if you conspire with the management. Her and along with two female comrades was Persihle Nonobanda. Now, it's not true that we sleep in same bed with the management. We are frustrated like everybody else. Hence, we had a protest and then we were arrested. It was, you see, some of the things we don't need to stifle engagement in our minds as well. It was winter, it was exam season. I figure I was all puzza futhi yena lelo deal while I'm season okay. So it was a good gesture. You could see we are here, we are Kaza, let us have the coffee night for students. Simple as that. And then he benefited along the way. He forgot to mention
he had the tea as well.
Yes, he did. Kabil. So that's the part he forgets to mention. So it was nothing political about that. There's nothing that I can explain any further than that. It was just a gesture of saying we are going to exams. Let us have it.
Right.
I was
Tabuntu.
engaging in a revolutionary
Tabuntu.
after fighting for the students, I said no, I must assist myself because there's one thing I fight for students, and then I'm tired. I was fighting for the students, so I must use the resources because they've been given demand by the oppressors. So I must use that tea and continue to fighting for the students.
Right,
Yes.
right. We're going to go on an ad break. When we come back, we'll be touching the matter of the death incident that took part in the institution. It's the beginning of the year. See you.
My name is Sandile Ndobo, the Deputy Chairperson of Sasco at DUT in Durban, Sakile Mzizi branch. Tomorrow I will be representing South African Congress, the oldest student movement in Africa and South Africa in particular, and I will be debating our manifestos and our approach towards the SRC elections in the Durban University of Technology. Please make sure you tune in, and then you get to find out as to what Sasco is. We will be coming back into power.
Right, welcome back. Right, welcome back, viewers of Red Studio. I'm still joined by the EFFSC as well as the Student Command. We're now going to touch on the matter of Mlungisi Madonsela, whom passed away earlier this year. Tabuntu, how are you engaging with the family on that one and the management at large?
Oh no, thank you very much. Before I touch this issue of leadership, I just wanna, leadership. The man here is just contradicted himself.
Yeah.
He said there were no strike, and then now he's saying no, there are people who were arrested. But he said no, there's no strike. EFF didn't continue strike while we were arrested, and even he has not even he's not ashamed of saying that there are Sasco girls that were arrested. What they were as a man, because they are the one who's supposed to be in the forefront, but our shame, men of Sasco, they always behind because they are scared. They just pushing the women to reach their interest. And then moving forward in the issue of Mlungisi Madonsela. Mlungisi Madonsela is a student and also a fighter who dedicated himself in fighting for the oppressed student here in this institution. It was during Sofunda Ngenkano when we were fighting for all students that they must be registered and then they must stay in a residence that is in a good condition as the EFF. And then the security guards, they came to intimidate us. It was the supervisors. And then they started to intimidate us, and then they even shot Mlungisi Madonsela, and then he was died. And then we are not happy, and then we are even saying, don't know, we want justice for Mlungisi Madonsela. All those who killed Mlungisi Madonsela must be arrested. Even today, the prostitution, they say no, it was a mistake. The death of Mlungisi Madonsela is a mistake. And we even instructed the institution that they must do the internal investigation because the duty of security guards is to protect us.
I heard you are not
us.
happy with the security company as well.
Yes, we are not happy with the security company because the security company is supposed to protect us, not to kill us. So we want even this security contract must be terminated until further internal investigation because we don't feel safe under these securities, under this security company. They must go. We don't want them. Even today, students are being unfairly suspended because of them. Students are being robbed inside the institution and there's nothing that they are doing. You see?
Now,
so we are not happy with the security company, and then we want the justice from Mlungisi Madonsela, a fighter who was fighting for all students to be registered and stay to the residences that are in a good conditions.
Now, Deputy Chair, yesterday in a chat that I heard with you, he said there are legal cases launched by Sasco against the EFF members. Can you enlighten us what's transpired? What is the reason behind those cases?
May his soul rest in peace, so Comrade Mlungisi Madonsela, and ngiyazwelana kakhulu nomndeni wakhe kakhulukazi more than anyone else. Hopefully the justice will be found for him. Indeed. I'm a security. To have, let's start here. Institutions of higher learning are a gun-free zone, first and foremost. Now, to have these people here intimidating us on a day-to-day basis.
Which people? The security?
The strike force or whatever these guys
yeah.
that have been deployed here, like we are in Congo, there's war that is going on, some civil war. So we are against that thing. And we've got so many problems. The counseling department is understaffed, for an example. Students are not coping with so much stress levels and so forth. Why is it not expanded? Why is money being spent on security? At whose interest? On top of these securities that are here to guard us, not protect us, because we're still exposed to high levels of crime. With this is a high crime zone amongst the institutions that are out there. So when you go down Steve Biko Road, it's very unsafe. And on a broad daylight, like yesterday on Friday, there's a guy that attacked a student, and then we chased him down towards Gate 5. But he attacked the student on a day. So what's the use of these securities that are here on our campus?
So Sasco is also not happy about the security company.
Which we are not just not happy. We don't want these security people because they strike force, because they have no need to be here. And then coming to the issues of legal cases, yes, there were legal cases that were opened for 2 fighters. They attacked female comrades and they attacked our former chairperson, comrade Usiahlongwa, after rest visit. And they were beaten. Then we opened those cases, and then we let the police and the legal processes take its course. We're not going to interfere with that. But I can confirm that we have cases opened against fighters.
Yeah. Tabuntu, do you have any cases against Sasco?
No, you know, they will never win any case against us because all of them, they are the group of people who can't think. No one was attacked there. They don't even have an evidence. So that is a nonsense when I saying they have been attacked. I was there. I saw everything that transpired. He was not there. I saw everything that transpired that day. And then no one was attacked. Actually, they were singing, we were singing, and then we were coming in opposition in that direction. And then, whenever we'll go, and then there will be that thing. So no one was attacked. We'll never attack us. We don't take politics personal. Even though in ideas we differ. We differ ideologically because we believe that they are our oppressors. I can say that they are oppressors because they are working with the oppressors. So we will never attack them. They don't even have an evidence. They just play the petty politics unless they will be collaborated with the management with the aim of trying to defeat EFF Student Command, because the victory is certain. We are winning this year. Students are happy. Right. They have confirmed that no EFF Student Command come for the second term. You even saw Ken Kroas. Ken Kroas. It was same venue, same day. Even I kwangekho even nespace sokumove phanda move ngecala endlela kwagcwele ngama students, and then came Sasco. Shame babini bathathu. Shame. They even called a famous pastor, which is Pastor Dube, and a legislature of ANC. Oh, shame. There was no attendance of students. They just addressed only the branch of Sasco, and then us. It was only us. EFF. There was no one that was famous. We didn't have a t-shirt. We had nothing, but the venue was full. When we go to students are here saying, yo, EFF, we can't live without you. We can't breathe without you. So victory is certain. The victory is certain. I take it. You can give him now, right now. Take it. Just comment in a question of victory. We are winning as EFF.
No, I said earlier on, some people can loud hail, they can shout, it's well and good. Some of us will deal with intellectual issues which are found at the university. That's what we are addressing. Sasco is a revolutionary student movement. First and foremost, we are charged with responsibilities of producing academic revolutionary intellectuals. Now beyond any measure. So we're definitely reclaiming our campus. We are taking back duty. There's no two way about it. We've given them a chance. When we had problems, we sorted out our problems. They failed dismally. For instance, like I'm saying, making a simple example, Ubuntu reminds me of Ime Yase Josie. let's say Mashaba.
Mashaba, yes.
Mashaba, for all his failures as mayor and government of Johannesburg, they blame the ANC. ANC did this, ANC did that, ANC this. And then it's the same thing when it comes here to DUT. Ukodlimpi came to our residence, the Sterling House. And then when we had all those problems that I've outlined, they said within a week they will come back, all these problems would have been addressed. Till today, we are going to elections. And then those problems have not been addressed. To a point, one of the students there was a protest where some mattresses were banned, we don't know by who. And then the student went to fighters, please represent me on the case, because the university is charging me now with no evidence. They were trying to silence us as residents of Sterling House. And then up until the date of the case, he had no representation from the SRC. And then we had to intervene and represent him. And we won the case. That's why I'm saying we're not loud hailing. We just address issues as they are.
To this issue, you know, that student is talking about, he's a fighter. Actually, he's a fighter. It was for political reasons. That means we armor short and then we dribble them in politically. Because we knew that he's a fighter and then we are going to represent him, and then as fighters, there will be a problem. So, Singapore, Sabashang, politics. That student, even yesterday, basically raised matters now, so in a question of winning, no, we are winning. They are saying no, but producer abantu aba intellectuals. No, in that case we know ukuthi nifuna umntshontsha sizowagada amavoti sizolala nawo like last year. Tina, we are not producing saying no, we are on the ground. We are assisting students. We are allowed hailing, saying no, vote EFF because senze kanje na kanje na kanje. Yes, we agree with that. And then nina nithule nihleli phansi and then you think ukuthi ama students azokuvotela. What you did
Before
wenzeni Sasco? While we were not in power, we were fighting, we were striking, we even started strikes. Sizalapa Stukul, wenzeni, you were folding arms, saying that you are giving us a chance. And also, during 2017, kwakuphethe ANC Youth League, and then they failed dismal. 2018, waphatha Sasco, they failed dismal. This year, they are collaborated, they are saying they are united, because they are a group of people, group of failures, group of people who can't think. And then just imagine, they failed 2017, failed 2018, and then they are collaborated, group of failures are collaborated now. And then what they will do for the students, let EFF to lead students and liberate students. That's what we represent. With no fear.
I think I like Ubundi. He reminds me of one clown called Julius Malem. So I think he's emulating him, by the way. You know, the way he speaks and he shouts. It's good.
It's good.
It's good for him. And for stand-up comedy as well.
Yeah.
Comrades, we assisted this year alone more than 1,000 students with their NSFAS applications while we were not in power. We've represented students in tribunals on cases, because the typical case that I'm referring to is just one of 4 cases that personally I've sat on and represented students on them. And there's only one that is still outstanding, which is an ongoing process. The other 3, we won all of them. Now, what we are saying, we will win back on the 29th. I'm not sure about this thing of stealing votes, whether he's trying to make excuses already that once we win, our win is discredited somehow. No, we are not going to steal votes. Students are matured, they are sober. When they are sitting down, they know that their future at the university, it lies on credible and capacitated leadership of Sasco. This is not football. We are not in a contest of playing soccer. It's a gamble that we cannot afford. It's a risk that we cannot afford. Like I'm saying, we were stranded the entire term of office of EFF, and then as students. Now we are going to make sure that we correct those mistakes by making sure that you know, the position that they understand better is that of being in an opposition. That's why they have a challenge of addressing issues. They are not familiar with the processes of addressing issues. We'll just put them back where they belong. They stay there and then they insult and howl and everything that they do best while isiqhuba nama-issues.
Now,
Just a minute. He wanted to say something, but he said nothing. Shame. He just called no. Just like Julius Malema.
No.
I just called them. They are a group of failures. No, but he agreed. They failed. They are a group of failures. You see, so you must analyze using a superior logic. They say no. We have helped 1,000 students to apply. Bana. It's just the thing that you can say during Sofundanken, you just help only 1,000 students. Only 1,000 students. How many first years in this institution?
Now,
You don't even you're ashamed of saying that.
Dabuntu.
No, by the way, we are winning 100%.
Dabuntu.
We are confident.
Dabuntu, earlier on you said, Ikulo uSicelo Uxolo noThando, it's the EFF song.
Yes. It's a EFF song. It's a EFF
Now
song.
you are saying Sasco is campaigning with your song.
Yeah, you know, Shem, in Sasco, we know them. They are elites. That's the problem about them. They are elites. You will even see them. They are wearing shirts. When we are wearing our overall, they will call us clowns. Say no, that one is a clown. It's a para because we are wearing our overall. But we are determined to the struggle, and we are energetic, and we are creative. You see, so we will let them to use that song. It's fine. But on addressing issues and all the stuff, it's fine. This guy is just using a common sense to all things. That's what I've noticed. But I didn't want to expose that. On a serious note, especially in a duty issues, he knows nothing. I was listening and then about duty issues and all the stuff. He's just exposed himself. Every time when he speaks, he's just exposed himself. He knows nothing about issues of duty, especially on the ground. So he's just using a common sense. Not everything is common to anyone. It is common. But here in KZN it's not common. So we must use facts, not common things. When we are
Allow him a chance to.
You can just give him a chance.
EFF, hopefully this common sense that will make sense to him. The EFF was born out of resolutions of the ANC Youth League Congress. The first thing that they did, they stole resolutions of the ANC Youth League Congress when their leader was... I'm going to the stuff of stealing songs.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm addressing. It's an organization that was born out of theft of everything. They stole the ANC Youth League resolutions, they formed EFF. They stole the red color from the working class, while we don't understand whether they are a socialist movement, a pan-Africanist movement, because sometimes when you listen to them, you end up not sure in terms of ideological context which one they advocate for. You end up being confused. Are they pan-Africanist? Are they communist? What are they exactly? And then their songs. They left with those songs from the ANC Youth League and Sasco to form the Student Command as well as Lokuzani EFF. So it cannot be true that there's anything that we can steal from EFF after they've stolen everything.
Can you mention a few songs that they took?
We are sharing songs. That's what I can tell you. We are sharing songs. And the songs that they took. But it's no surprise. Their president questioned their relevance. The very same commander-in-chief in their last Congress, a student command. In their relevance was questioned by their president. Their conduct of stealing toilet paper, matawula, hotel, and he denounced them in actual sense, because he said how we never adopted issue a student. He even said they are going to review the matter with Congress, EFF, SI. So some of these things as about confuse probably they have to do with that.
You know what is funny? I always say to a guy here, no, he's just using a common sense. You just ask a simple question. Our party is telling you about the EFF and all the stuff. You know how EFF was born and all the stuff. He didn't even answer the question. You can even ask me a question. You can even state a song. There is a song called Pepela. You know, I'm always in the forefront of liberating the black people, and I'm creative, and I'm also coming with songs. I came with that song because that song lisongculo esilixoxa xa siyosoka siyokweluka yabo elasixelelana umathanzima ukuthi angasiqheli kakubi, and then we change it here, and then we made to be relevant in the revolution, and then they will come and claim it and all the stuff. He answered nothing in your question, I can assure you, and I won't dwell much on how EFF was formulated and stealing the resolution of the ANC Youth League, because Julius Malema during that time, he was an ANC president. They wanted an economic freedom in our lifetime, and then when they silenced Abo Ramaphosa and Zuma, those who are benefiting, and then they were suspended, they were expelled, and then that's why they formed EFF to continue with the struggle of economic freedom in our lifetime. Maybe you don't know. That's why I don't want to dwell much, because these are brought up politics, and then now we are focusing to the student issues, especially here in TUT. He even said we are stealing toilet papers. We are not here in TUT. We will never do that. You know, he's using common sense on the ground here in TUT. He knows nothing. He speaks nothing. He knows nothing about the student issues. He can even comment about saying no.
Will you let him give me a chance to speak, because I say nothing?
Please, Tabuntu, please allow him a chance because of time. Because of time, Tabuntu.
You will say obvious.
I will personally not stoop low to a level of responding to the utterances of Comrade Ubuntu that seeks to attack me personally. I will choose to be bigger than that and not to attend to it. But some of the other issues, they have more to do with the comprehension more than anything. The reason why I was giving you that piece of history is because I believe that we learn every day, everywhere we go, all the time. We don't learn in formal and academic environment only. But some of the things that when people do not comprehend, then I will not be surprised when they say they are not saying anything. In any event, I will be worried if I say anything that makes sense to Comrade Ubuntu. But this is how issues are addressed. One of the reasons why we find challenges, we found ourselves stranded as students this year, is because we did not have leadership that had the capacity to, when you are going there to address management, it's on a round table. You win issues on the table. In that level, there are issues that you will win on the streets. There are issues that you will win in a guerrilla warfare, and so forth and so forth. But in this regard, at this level, when we send you to SRC, you are supposed or you're expected to win issues right there on the boardroom. And then when you go there, you are surrounded by a bunch of academics and intellectuals that deals with issues with procedures and so forth. It's a red tape that is boring to some other people because we are radical as well. There's that element of being radical. So we as Sasco, we are sending to you a bunch of young people that have a capacity, that are dedicated, that are well grounded, that will enable to win us issues in the boardroom, and then will also further be able to take us on the streets to lead on the issues that needs to be won outside on the streets when it's necessary. That's what I wanted. That's how I wanted to close.
Oh, as I'm closing. No, leadership, there's nothing personal here. I'm just surprised when you are saying that there's something that is personal and attacking you on a personal level. You know, when I'm exposing your capacity on a political basis and student issues on the ground, I'm not attacking you personally. I'm just stating the facts. You even saying, no, I'm reminding I'm a clown. I didn't take that personal. Because I understand it's a nature of the revolution and politics. There is nothing personal here in this engagement. We're just speaking the truth, and I maintain my point that no, you know nothing about student issues on the ground. You are just using your common sense just to analyze, especially those who have heard. Because the reality, I've never seen you on strike. Even all of these people who are here, maybe some of them, they used to see you go to library, not on the forefront of liberating the black people. It's just the reality. So there is nothing personal here. By the way, we will win as the EFS Student Command and continue to champion the student issues and fight for the students who are still oppressed in this institution with 8 candidates, and then we will win fairly and take over again. In a question of that, they are sending people who are capacitated and they have academic, these ones, I know they are candidates. Some of them, I know them in a personal level. They can't even speak here. For instance, Puno, he can't even speak, you know. But I'm not here leadership, but I don't want you to lie. You see, especially just to mislead people, because it is also my duty to protect other people, especially here in the institution. We know them, they can't speak. Some of them, they haven't even in a leadership, they can't even command even a strike while the students have issues. They don't even have a capacity to negotiate. All of them, I can even mention them.
Now, I would like to thank you very much for joining us in this show. Here studio, sacela ningipha ama-handles enu where students can follow you and ask questions.
No, thank you very much. Facebook, Ubuntu Fako. Uzomfumana nje Ubuntu whenever you have a questions. And Tenish, in this thing of Twitter, yeah. Twitter Ubuntu Fako futhi ndiyafumaneka nalapho. And also Instagram sendawuyeka wona kodwa again zawuphinde nibuyele. And also no WhatsApp ke 121 lapho, especially to these students who have issues and then want to seek some clarity or need an assistance. I'm also available on Facebook, and then you can even inbox me or my timeline. And then if you need my number just for assistance, I can even give you. My number is 073 691 4218.
Okay. On Facebook, Sandile Ngondo. And then on Instagram, it's Sandile Ngondo. Ngondo sekugcineni on Instagram. Same thing applies with Twitter. Usandile Ngondo. And my number is 081 748 0889. 081 748 0889. Thank you.
To our lovely viewers, don't forget to like and share this video and also subscribe on ResStudio. Thank you very much for joining me today. We are looking forward to working with you, and therefore we are very sure that from now on we will see Sasco and the EFF working together to bring harmony in the institution and serving the students in a well-constructive way. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Izembe phambili.
Just go back, just sit back and play.